Welcome back to another episode of Big Bad Bodybuilding. I'm your co-host, Zach Barnard. With me today, in-house, Dennis Wolf, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, made the drive down to join me in person. Dennis, why don't you tell us what you're doing here?
Man, that was a long drive, 12 hours from Vegas to Lubbock, Texas. But honestly, that was one of the easiest drives. I'm here to check on the Nutrition Wolf because we are about to launch at the Arnold Classic next week, Friday. That's the 1st of March. And I'm very excited. And, I wanted to see the production, everything. And, man, I'm very, very excited to start the Nutrition Wolf line.
So we got you all suited up today, man.
Damn.
We got some footage of that, so we're going to have to post that here. So what'd you think about all that, man? Are you ready? Is it more or less, it's intricate than you thought?
It's more than I have expected. Like I said, this is like, man, it's like I don't know how to explain it, but everything is so 100%. You have to suit up all the extracts, everywhere, and the taste, the flavors, the everything is just really, really cool. And like I said, I didn't expect that, and I even try also to mix something, right? You got it on the video. I had to suit up for that, wear the mask like Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, though, man, my favorite part was your forklift driving skills, man. I was very impressed. This dude, but he didn't wreck it. I was like, dude, don't take out the set. We're actually doing it in here in the warehouse. But that was impressive, man. So
that's basically what you see on internet, right? If they work with a forklifter,
you're gonna wreck
in a hole or so, they wreck anything.
That's right. You were doing donuts in here, man. That was great, man. So that was good.
That's experience.
Good
2 years ago, I had the delivery of Jumedi equipment to my house, so I was working on that like for a week. Having the forklifter, actually two. First one I rented out. That was like, I think $600 just for one day. Insane. Yeah. And then my training partner and good friend Steve gave me his from his shop, right? So,
all right.
It's still standing on my property.
Is it?
Yes.
You're not charging him rent on that?
No, but I guess he doesn't need it. So, but yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, check out nutritionwolf.com. We do have our pre-sale special going on right now, where the first 100 orders receive an exclusive Dennis Wolf sign shaker by Dennis that's going to go out with your order. And also check out our Instagram as well as Gasp and Better Bodies, where we're doing our giveaway for 2 sets of 2 tickets to floor tickets Saturday night at the Arnold Classic Finals. You do have to be present there at the Arnold Classic weekend to win those. But along with that, you're going to get Gasp and Better Body gift cards. You're going to get Nutrition Wolf products, a couple premium T-shirts, all that good stuff. So definitely check out that giveaway and support, Gasp and Better Body as well. All right. Speaking of the Arnold, today we're doing our athlete review for both the open division and the classic physique division. And for that occasion, we invited a very special guest who has a little bit of knowledge about what we're looking at on stage. Dennis, why don't you introduce our special guest today?
Yeah, you said it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's just a little bit. I would love to welcome our guest, the Boston, Mass, Jose Raymond today. Right. Welcome, Jose. Hope you're doing well. And good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me. And congratulations on the new line. I'm excited for you guys to launch this at the Arnold Classic. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Jose, are you going to be at the Arnold this year?
I'm not. I am so busy at home with work, and I guess I got a lot going on. It's the first one I'm missing in probably 10 years.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've won this thing back in 2015, I believe.
Yep.
Was that the only year you competed in the show when they had the 212? You never did the open, right?
Never did the open, but I did it all 5 years that they had the 212.
Nice. And you won it the 1 year. So you know, now we don't, and we talked about this on a past episode with Keon, you know, they do not have the 212 division anymore. What's kind of your take on that? Do you think they should bring the class back?
Absolutely. I think it's the top three most exciting classes in the whole IFBB, between bodybuilding, men's classic physique, and 212. It's competitive. The guys are really tight. The top 5 guys in the world are, you know, all good. And you know, especially when we were competing with me, Flex Lewis, David Henry, Eduardo Correa, these were really, really competitive guys. And people were excited to see it. And, you know, I don't know why. I think it has a little something to do with some of the guys, the top guys, not competing as much. You know, like Sean only does the Olympia. Keon's only doing the Olympia. So some of the promoters aren't as excited to put on 212 shows because some of the bigger names aren't competing as much.
Right.
And I loved competing. So I averaged 5 or 6 shows a year for 10 years straight. And a lot of guys don't do that. I didn't care if I was doing the Olympia that year. I would still do New York, Prague, Korea, every show. That was my job, is to compete, not to sit around and wait for one show.
Well, and the 212's gotten so competitive, like you said, and I know we asked Keon when he was on if he would do the Arnold, and he said absolutely, you know, and he would, you know, like to do the Open at some point for the Arnold Classic, but he said he would have done it this year, you know, if they would have had the even having won the Olympia, because that was one of his goals, was to win an Arnold Classic title. And you know, I don't know about Sean, but man, the division itself has gotten so good. You know, I think it would have been really stacked, and I think they would have had a good turnout this year, you know, if they would have had it.
I agree 100%. And I don't understand why these classes not included, because I mean, it's bodybuilding too, right? So, and it's still we still have absolute amazing athletes, but like Raymond's excuse me, Jose said, maybe it's because they don't want to compete that often. I had that issue in the beginning in my career, so I would do maybe just 2 seasons, you know, like early season, like April, May, June, and then have a break, and then concentrate on my prep for the Olympia. Olympia was always in October. In the last couple of years, it was like, always switching up: December, November, September, October. Now it's coming back to Vegas, and it's in October. But regarding the Arnold, I think those 3 classes should be up there. Yes.
Well, I think it's probably the prize money too, right? If the prize money was there and it was, you know, comparable. I know it's always going to be the open class first, but it was comparable. I think, you know, people would turn out for that. I mean,
look, the Korean Mr. Olympia is also 212 champion, right? So, I mean, that should be in a contest. Yeah, but like I said, maybe it's a sponsoring issue. I don't know.
Yeah. Jose, we on a recent episode we also talked about, and I think you've commented on our Instagram about the possibility of a 212 pose down with the Open champion for the title, you know, mainly for the Mr. Olympia. But I want to ask, and Dennis, I'll start with you. 2014, you won the Arnold Classic. 2015, Jose won the 212. All right. If that would have happened in the same year, we had an overall pose down. Who's taking that one? You or Jose? You from 2014, Jose 2015.
Of course, me.
All right. Well,
Jose.
That's a thing, right? So there are 2 champions, right? So one is taller, the other one is shorter. One is bigger, heavier. The other one is big, but a little bit lighter, because, you know, I mean, it's like 60 pounds different probably, but still, it's always interesting and exciting to see guys like this next to each other, because it's all bodybuilding, but still there's difference between physiques and genetics and how far the improvements are going, you know. So I think that should be one of the mandatories. I hope they bring it that.
Well, and man, I'll just throw in there, I would like to see, you know, like you have prize money for the Open winner, prize money for the 212 winner. You have the overall, they get the big purse. right?
Why not?
They get the
Yes,
big
that
purse.
would be amazing. Yes.
Jose, in 2015, where would you rank your physique that year on your all-time, all of the looks you brought over your career? Where do you think that was one of your better years, the year that you won the Arnold?
Yep, for sure. Just because I was at my biggest, hardest, most complete. I was healthy. I was on stage at 210, and I'm 5'3".
Right. Wow.
So
Right there at
that's
the top.
as big as it gets for
Where
a short bodybuilder.
Right. Where did you end up that year at the Olympia? Did you do that year later in the year? Did you go
Yeah,
to
I was
Olympia then?
second to Flex Lewis.
Right behind Flex. Okay.
Yeah.
I figured that was
I remember
what.
he was so thick.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jose, you've always been thick. I think it's the muscle bellies and all of that thickness. It's from heavy lifting, and that's how you develop your physique to the fullest.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was 41 that year. So
Really?
I was at my all-time peak. It took me that long because I was a natural bodybuilder till I was 34 years old. And
Right.
then I started. It's like I started a whole new career at 34. So I
Absolutely.
competed as a pro from 34 to 44.
Right. And then as far as your decline, do you feel like that was your age or just because of the injuries that you sustained? Is that when you kind of...
It was just injuries. I'm still as
Yeah.
hungry today as I ever
Right.
was. And
Yeah.
I just
absolutely.
can't do it. I couldn't perform anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dennis has a similar story. So, guys
Man,
kind of share that.
hey, that's so bad. I mean, if you're forced into retirement or you understand that you can't do that anymore, it's a fight with yourself. And I've been through it. And I know how it feels. And we athletes, we are a little bit different. We build different than normal people, I would say. So we have our goals, we have our commitments and discipline and all of that, and living that life for 20 years, whatever, 30 years, right? So, and if there is a change, right, like an injury or something, it's a big take, right? So and you basically have to work it out with yourself first, yes. But it's not fun, man. It's definitely not fun.
Yeah. I think it was actually easier on me because I didn't have a choice anymore. I could barely walk with my hip, so I didn't have to make the decision. It was made for me, and had I not had an injury, I would have been still competing today. And that's probably not good at 50 years old.
Right.
So that's how I see it too, because I was forced into retirement because, I tried with my comeback and I knew right away, man, the last 6 weeks of the prep were not going well. And then, of course, the comparisons, the call-outs I got at my, comeback show. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's easier, but you still have to, understand why you cannot live the same life anymore,
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, both you guys, I mean, went out.
That's life,
you've
huh?
accomplished, a lot. So I think, no worries on that one. All right, guys, let's get into it. We're going to first start off with the classic physique division. Let's talk about Breon Ansley. Jose, what do you have on this gentleman? What do you think he's got to do to repeat? He won it back in 2018, back when he won the Olympia. I believe he was the first Arnold Classic physique champion.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love Breon. He's a bodybuilder at heart, and his frame wasn't big enough for 212, so he went into the classic and did tremendous. He has continued to improve. He's in his early 40s. He's like 43, I think, and still improving. Now, this last Olympia, you could have made an argument for him to be top 3. It was very close. In fact, they had him in there.
I agree that.
Yeah, I had him as high as second. I know you're a Dino fan, but I agree. Like in his whole career last year, he has not slipped. They've kind of moved him down, it seems like, and favored others' physiques, but he is not, his placing isn't a result of him slipping at all. I mean, I thought he looked phenomenal at the Olympia. What do you think, Dennis?
Absolutely. I agree with that. I didn't see him. He was 5th, right?
4th or 5th.
4th or 5th, right?
4th.
Right. I saw him much higher. I saw him in the top 3 because if you look at the development, muscle maturity, details, all of this, it should be counted, right? So, and
Yep.
there were a couple physiques in front of him, which are not fully developed yet. And I don't understand the judging, but it's me. I'm not a judge, so but it's my opinion, and I think he should be like in the top 3. Yeah.
Jose, how would he do now if he does transition into 212 at this point in his career? I mean, obviously he's getting a little older, but I mean, when he first tried it, when he turned pro, he wasn't at near the development he is now. I know we saw George DeBull do it a few years ago, that transition successfully. Do you think he could go into that division and do well, or do you think he's right where he needs to be?
I think he's right where he needs to be. I think, in a smaller show like, I don't know, say New York or Phoenix or something like that, he could win. But at the Olympia level, he's just too. He's not big enough for what his strength is that condition and maturity, and he looks that way at about 184 pounds. So he'd be going 184 pounds against Keon, who's going to be over 200.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a different look. But
right.
His condition I would say he'd be in the top 5.
Yeah.
With the way he looks right now, he'd probably be top
Olympia?
5.
With Olympia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so we all agree, man. I mean, he hasn't slipped. It's just going to kind of depend, I think, on, what they're going to go with this year. All right. Next up, Michael DeBull, my favorite. We had him on the show.
I know, yes.
It's no secret. I'm a fanboy. I think the best conditioned athlete in the division, from front to back, and his legs look great here. But he said that the legs, the judges wanted to bring his legs up, and he said I hadn't squatted in 2 years, so they're going to see some legs at the Arnold. Now I know he is getting kind of towards the top of his weight class, but with the new height divisions, he said if he can height in taller, it gives him that extra 8 pounds, which he could put on his legs.
That's a lot.
And I don't know, if he does that, if that's what it takes to push him up there with the Dino, and up there at the top. But he's my favorite physique. I love his conditioning. I don't know, just solid all the way around. What do you think, Jose?
I agree. Great condition. He's very dense. Obviously the knock is the legs, and I'm not sure how much he can really fix that because he has long legs for his physique. He's already close to the weight cut. So I don't know how much more size he can put on there. Maybe he could improve the presentation of them or something. I don't know. Just structurally, I don't know that he's going to beat Dino or Urs, but everyone else, it's fair game, I think.
Well, I'm going to go in and say I think his conditioning and I don't think his legs are a weakness at all. But if they come up and he does hide in and has that extra 6 pounds that he didn't have at the Olympia, I mean, I think he's right there. What do you think, Dennis?
I think so. I mean, he's so hard, right? So it's like granite hardness. This is why I like, because I favor the condition, of course. But it's classic physique. It's everything has to flow, right? So but I think he improved a little bit, since last time he was competing, and I guess he is working very, very hard and doing everything to be up there. And man, it's a show, and everyone has a chance. But I think he looks already better than a couple of years back. So he's been working on his weak points.
All right, our boy Wesley. Wesley Vissers comes in. I'm not sure how many times. I know he's done the Arnold at least one other time. He won the Romania a few months back. So already qualified for the Olympia this year. We also had him on the show. He's kind of coming off the Romania, so he hadn't had a chance to have an off season. So it's just going to be kind of maintaining the condition. Judges kind of said more legs, more hardness, I think, from the back. I think his upper body, he's going to be the biggest guy up there for sure. And we've kind of discussed it. I mean, this is, Arnold, this is the classic physique. So, if that's what they're looking for, then he takes it. I mean, condition is always very good. Just obviously a different look than your typical other top 5 that are going to be there. What do you think?
Absolutely, yes. Look, Wesley is so good developed. especially his upper body, shoulders, the details. That's very impressive. You know, details in the shoulders, all these striations, really like smallest striations, and all of that is coming through, so you can see it. So if he hits his back double bicep or just hit his arm like that, right? So the shoulder is just insane. It's like a spider web, right? So like, this is what I like. We had him on the show, and he said that the only issue is the legs, right? So everybody is just talking about his legs, but I think classic physique is not about having the biggest legs. I think it's about the flow, and the thing is, if he brings them up a little bit, the picture will be perfect. That's my opinion, and it's one of my favorites. Who, still not up there in the top, but he will.
Yeah. Jose, what's your take on Wesley?
So I've seen a few recent photographs of him, and he looks his all-time best as far as condition and flow. Some of those poses, he does like a twisting shot, and it's really impressive. His condition already looks better than it's ever been, and he's got another, 2 weeks? And he's on. And he's what I picture, like you said earlier, of classic bodybuilding. Not classic physique, but classic bodybuilding. He looks like a bodybuilder. He's got really thick, round muscle. And it's impressive. And I think he's just getting better and better, because he was really young when he started. And he was already a pro at like 25 years old. And now he's growing into that physique. So I'm excited to see what he does. I think he could surprise some people and leapfrog. I don't know where he placed last year. I don't think it was top 5, but I think
can't
it
remember
certainly
if he did
will
the Arnold
be.
last year. He may have. I can't remember, but like
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it was top 5 or not, but he had his all-time best placing at the Olympia, because I don't think he had been in the top 10 before, but I think he was 7th, I believe, at the Olympia.
Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he was 7th at the Olympia. I think he'll definitely be top 5 here.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, like I said, if he can bring up the legs, and it's weird when you talk to Wesley. I know he's kind of fighting himself, because I think he feels like he's achieved the physique that he always wanted to get, being that classic. And he says it's like the bigger upper body, good legs, but not. It's almost the bigger upper body with smaller legs, if you will. But now he knows that in order to like push up the top, he's got to get basically freaky legs. And which is, I don't necessarily know that's the physique he set out to reach, but he knows that's what he's going to have to do to kind of crack the top, 1, 2, or to top 3, I think. So we'll see what he brings. But again, one of my favorites. I'm really hoping he can push for a top 3 placing here. All right, Urs. Dennis, start us off on this one. I know you know.
Urs is fan favorite. Doing pretty good as far as placings, his business, his overall thing he's doing. So he's a fan magnet, right? So anywhere he goes, the venue is sold out. All kinds of things. So he's a favorite to many, because he's blonde, always smiling, very young, looks great on stage. Presentation is amazing. But he's still young, right? So the development is going well, but compared to the other guys like Ramon, Dino, is still behind a little bit. That's my opinion. But we all started somewhere, and he's improving, so that's a good thing. I remember last year at Olympia, he was, I think, 4 weeks out, and he was already at his weight. So he, he's nailing that. So there's no issues with that, with not making the weight, or being too heavy or something like that, or to do crazy things, cutting down, I don't know, work with diuretics, whatever, right? So he doesn't have to do that. So, so basically, he is just cruising, right, until the show. I think that's his chance, of course, to win the show. But man, it's gonna be difficult, to beat Ramon. That's how that was said, because there's a big difference of muscle maturity, and that's the only thing Urs doesn't have yet. There's some issues in the back, so it's not thick enough. It's not so developed as like his legs, the rest of the body. But yeah, that's gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I bet he is improved again, and yeah, looking forward to see that.
Jose, can he win the title? Can he take out Dino, or what do you think he
Yeah.
needs to do?
Yeah, first of all, I love this kid. He texted me yesterday. He was doing cardio, and he was watching my DVD, and he was all fired up. He's the nicest kid in the world. He's got crazy charisma. He's everyone's favorite when he's on stage posing. You can't help but laugh and smile and enjoy it. And he does keep getting better and better. Every show, his physique gets a little tighter, a little harder, a little bigger. He's doing it the right way. He's not trying to rush anything. He's having fun. He definitely can beat Ramon if Ramon is not 100%. These guys are close. These guys are phenomenal. So if Ramon is off at all, he can definitely beat him. I don't know that Ramon will be off. Ramon is a little thicker everywhere. He's a little bigger, but I don't say that it's impossible at all. I think if Ramon's not 100%, Urs can win it. And that's another thing. Urs is always in condition. He's always going to be in shape. He's not going to miss it. So he's a really tough competitor to go against. I wouldn't want to go against him time after time after time because you can't slip up.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. A little more fullness, without sacrificing the condition. That's really easy to say, but yeah, I think that, that'll push him up there. I threw Terrence Ruffin in there. To this day, I don't know if he's competing or not, so I can't confirm that.
That's a good question.
It seems like he slid a little bit. I don't know if it's just other guys are preferring other guys' physiques. He definitely has his own look, I would consider, and you guys could tell me if I'm wrong, but more bigger legs as opposed to a smaller upper body, which is maybe the opposite of classic. But obviously, he's won this show twice. The Arnold placed as high as second at the Olympia. So obviously, if he's there, he's going to be in the mix.
I think so. Yes, yeah, but I'm not sure he's going to compete. But Terrence is an awesome athlete. He's he won a couple shows, Arnold. And, what I like about him, he's not that big, but if he takes his clothes off, man, it's almost game over. Sharp details, all of that. So the physique flows, right? So that everything looks just perfect, right? So I really like him, and he's very competitive. So it's also, it's going to be hard to beat him in the first place too, right? So, but like I said, they all up there. They're all the best of the world, and they fight, for the title, and that's gonna be very, very exciting.
All right. Well, he'll be the wild card, and then of course we have Dino, the favorite. It's based on his placing. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, Jose, but at the Olympia, because I believe you were there, you had Dino pushing Bumstead. Am I wrong?
I did.
There at the prejudging? Yeah.
I absolutely did. I think he was harder in certain shots, rear double. He was harder. The ab and thigh. There were a couple shots where it was really, really close. His arms are crazy for a classic physique guy.
Especially forearms.
Yeah, his forearms are crazy. At the end of the day, I agreed with the decision. I think Chris is just too powerful, his frame, and he was at his best. So, but I had it very close. It wasn't a blowout by any means.
He comes every year a little bit closer and closer to the champ, right? So, if you see like a couple poses he had Bumstead, but it's not winning the overall, right? So like beating him in every pose. So it's probably never gonna happen, but he is getting closer and closer and closer, and that's the excitement I like, So every time you see the guy, he's just also like smiling and everything, and he's doing his thing. But we have the champ, and it's always hard to be the champ. It doesn't matter. It's 212 classic or open division.
And Dino won it last year, so he is the returning champ.
Yeah.
So real quick, all right. So Jose, top three. Just first, second, third. What do you have?
Ramon, Urs, Wesley.
Okay, I love it. Dennis, what do you have?
Man, Urs is gonna be pissed. I mean, hey, this is. I agree with your opinion. I think it's gonna be Ramon, Urs, Wesley.
All right, that's y'all guys think the same way. I think it's gonna be Ramon, Urs, and Breon. That's what I would like to see is the Bull, Vissers, and Breon. That's just because, man, all these guys are so great, all right? And it's just kind of like, what do you like? That's what I like.
That's the top five.
And this is not personal.
They're definitely
it's not just we're not picking anyone because
great.
We're friends or we like the guy more or whatever, right? So, but it's bodybuilding is, it's still.
And like I say, because it's classic, I love Vissers because he looks classic,
sport, right?
And I like DeBull because I think he's the most conditioned, and then Breon, I just think the overall package. So that's my picks. It's probably not what it's going to be, but that's kind of my what I'm hoping for. So all right, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's jump into the open. All right, now we got a few more competitors. I mean, and I may have left some guys out in the classic, but that's probably going to be your top 5, top 6 right there. Moving into the open. All right. We got James Hollingshead, the Shed. I think, we got the top guys. I think we kind of know who's going to be at the top. And from my opinion, we're going to have, a wild card of 5 or 6 guys that could be right there in that 3 spot, or somebody that's surprising.
Like 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yes.
Jose, what do you think of James's physique? And to me, it seems like, and maybe it's just me, have we not seen him compete in a while? The last I remember of James was that Olympia performance a few years back, and his abs were pretty washed out. He didn't hit his peak or something, and I guess that's kind of sticking in my head. So that's why, to me from that show, it seemed like it was a condition issue. He always looks crazy thick, but I don't know what he's going to bring to the stage. What's your take, Jose? What do you think we're going to get from James?
I think we're going to get the best version ever. I've been following him very closely. He's the best condition that he's been, holding the biggest amount of size, and his posing is improving. Like, you can tell this kid's working every day on every aspect of becoming a better bodybuilder, and it shows in every update that he gives. And James is not someone that uses filters or anything like that. He just sends out pictures. And he's looking really, really good. So he's one of those wild card guys, like John De La Rosa, Akeem, that if any one of these guys nails it, they can be in the top 3.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He's one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I agree with that.
All right, let's go. All right, here's another one that I would say is a wild card. Antoine Vaillant. I think aesthetic for a big guy. Great legs. It looks, obviously this shot, it looks like his upper body is caught up, but
there's a recent picture from yesterday, I think, right?
He looks crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a great look.
Dude, that's a really good shot for him.
Even, this is like the art of posing. Look how he hits the pose, right? Yeah. So everything is perfect, right? So he's not like just standing and just hitting like anything, right? So he's just he flows, right? So he's like leaning to the right side, all of that. So it makes him look very, very classic.
Yeah.
And also really, impressive, of course, impressive, but he has something what makes you gonna want to look like that, right? Just look at the picture.
And he's very charismatic,
yes.
On stage. Yeah. Good, stage presentation. I know he won the Vegas show, I believe, a few years ago. When's the last time he competed? Because he didn't compete last year.
2-3 years, right? I'm not sure. I'm like, it's maybe I'm getting too old. I don't remember things like that anymore.
But, he's looking good. I think
absolutely
he's going to be up there.
Yeah, I was surprised because I haven't seen much of the updates, recent updates from him. But yesterday, that was impressive. Yeah.
Jose, he's got a good back too, right? I remember when he was battling the other Canadian guy, Ian Valliere. I believe that one show I thought he took him, and Ian I think edged him out, but he was right there, man. Good glutes, good back.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's got all
He
the body parts.
knows what he's got, and he plays to his strengths. So he knows he's a very tall guy. He's probably taller than you, Dennis. And
Yeah, he's taller than me. Yes.
And he's massive. He's probably 275, 278 in that photo.
Dang.
But he looks like a classic bodybuilder. Like, so he plays to his strengths. He doesn't try to do a ton of power poses. He does a lot of like pretty classic poses, and it looks great on him. And he's huge, and his condition's getting better every single show. So, yeah, I think he's going to do well. There's no saying where he'll place, but I can't wait to see it.
Me too.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Antoine is, like I said, wild card. I think one of the top guys who could really surprise everyone.
Yeah. Okay, Keem, wild card number what, 3 or 4? I remember when he was winning a couple years ago, a lot of shows, and I mean, just that front double by was just cartoonish, right?
Wasn't he top 5 on
in
Olympia,
Olympia, dude? And that's where everybody thought he's got nowhere to go but up. Can he win the Olympia? That was the top for a little while.
I remember
right?
I was texting him right after the show. I sent him a message, man, you got all the tools you need. Just bring it, you know? So, yeah.
I mean, it's been conditioning,
muscle,
with him.
Quality, everything is there. Just sometimes a little bit off in the back.
Yeah.
I think that was his issue.
Yeah, he's kind of, his back won't match his front. He'll be a little soft in the back, or from the glutes. But I mean, nobody's going to be thicker than him.
No
but
way.
I mean, it's usually the back shots and just overall conditioning. Jose, where do you think you think he can do some damage? I mean, I don't know how recent that picture was. But I mean, obviously he's, it's from the pictures I've seen. I'm a little concerned about just the conditioning compared to some of the pictures I've seen of these other guys,
I saw pictures yesterday, and from yesterday, and he's dry in the hamstrings. He's dry.
Okay.
His lower back is striated. His glutes are striated. His legs are crazy from the side. Like you said, that front double is nuts. He's got a great midsection for a big guy. Really good abs. I think he can do some real damage. It's more the upper back that seems a little watery. It's the lower back is striated, dry as can be. And, like we said, we have another 2 weeks for him to get dry. And he made huge progress in the last 3 weeks. So there's no saying what he can do with 2 more weeks. And these pictures do him no justice. He looks massive standing next to someone. He doesn't look that huge. You can't tell when he's by himself.
Well, I'd love to see him come back and bring his best like he did a couple years ago. Because I mean, everybody, he was the talk of the sport for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right here we got Shaban.
Mo Shaban. Now I threw him in there. He's probably not going to be considered, up there in the top. But he's got some freaky body parts. He's got those legs, they're pretty freaky. When he nails it, I mean, he looks really good. He just doesn't have the flow that a lot of these top guys do. But I threw him in there. I felt like he's done enough to be considered there in the top. So definitely a wild card. But even if he's in his top condition, can he really vie for like a top 3 spot? I don't know.
I don't know either. But we're gonna see, right? But I mean, I've seen him a couple times competing. Very impressive, crazy muscle parts. But like I said, it's Arnold Classic. It's a little bit different, and we have so many great guys competing.
I know. And I think he's planning on doing Detroit, which I'm not sure how far Detroit is from the Arnold, the Detroit Probe. I did see him on that list, so I mean, he's probably using this as
like
his
4
first show.
weeks or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, Jose. What's your take?
A funny thing about him is just a few years ago he was 212, and then like a year later he was 242.
Oh wow!
So his body's still maturing. It's still getting used to being big like this, and he's already won a few shows, I believe, in the Open.
He did.
Yeah. So he's got a really nice physique. His front double's crazy. Those legs are wild. He's still coming into his own. He hasn't been doing this very long. So there's no saying.
He needs time to develop, right?
Yes.
Kind of grow out.
Exactly. I don't see him top 3.
Right.
I think if you're always have to watch your weight, so you're kind of limiting your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the
Yeah.
opportunities, and if you're free or open, man, and sometimes the body reaction is so insane. Like I said, he was like 1 or 2 years later, 40 pounds heavier, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm excited.
All right, John De La Rosa. Am I saying that right?
John De La
Yeah.
Rosa.
All right. So, I mean, obviously, I don't know how this was posted, I think, a few days ago. So it may not be the best lighting, condition wise. You know, for me, when I see him, it just seems like his legs, you know, just aren't as dry as his upper body, you know. But and that just, like I said, I think he's getting washed out in this picture a little bit. But I know it's been a while since he's competed as well. So I don't know. We'll see if the time off did him good.
I heard he looks great.
Yeah.
So the picture sometimes doesn't, you know, give you the justice. You know, like with who's this guy, Antoine, right? So by himself, it's always a different story. But he's back, and yeah, it's also not. You know, it's a great guy. He used to compete a whole while, right? So and then he was kind of disappeared for a couple of years, and now he's coming back. And I think you know, he is a very a massive guy, right? So he's like he got this Victor Martinez look, right? So the muscle quality is almost the same. I don't know. It was like all guys from Dominican Republic. I don't know, but
you know, his legs
right?
do remind me of the way his legs separate,
exactly,
and it's just it's a different look. It's genetic, right?
Genetic, yes.
But they do kind of remind me of that, the way they form and, you know, separate. So,
man, I'm excited to see him too. I haven't seen him for a long time, and yeah.
Now he's not a former 212 guy, is he? He's not coming. Okay,
No.
No. He won. I remember he won the USA's in Vegas. Oh, I don't know.
2012, 2013, 2012.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure, but he looked sick, really good back then when he won his pro card. Yeah, I remember that.
That picture does him zero justice.
Yeah.
And I've been following his prep this year, and he's a lot tighter than he was last year. Last year he competed in Chicago. He placed second to Justin Shire. And John is awesome. Like you said, a Victor Martinez, which is a real pretty physique. Like he's got everything. He just needs to nail his condition.
Even if he has his glutes striated, it still looks thick, everything, right? But if you put the pressure on it, boom, the striation come out, and then it looks phenomenal, right? But he has that thickness in his physique, right? I don't know what it is, how to explain it, but it's a great bodybuilder for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. You running this guy in Vegas much?
Couple times, yes, but not this year. Is he still out there training? Is he back to Vegas? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen something. I think today post, but I wasn't sure it was Vegas or not.
Okay. I haven't seen a recent
he's
update
friends
with
with Flex Lewis,
I know
so he's always
buddies,
spending a lot of time there when he's competing in US. But I'm not sure about this year.
Rafael Brandao, man, crazy taper. It just seems like it's always like that size, just need a little more size to compete with the big guys. I mean, usually always in condition. I mean, but just crazy quad sweep, smaller waist for an open bodybuilder. One of my favorites because I just like how, like I said, kind of like Antoine, more of a classic, open guy, man. So, I mean, we'll see what he brings this year. Another guy that I think can place, as high as third, top three for sure if he nails it and his size and the fullness are all there. I mean, where do you see him placing, Jose?
Well, he just switched coaches, and I think they're going a different strategy of trying to be a little bigger. That's what I'm hearing, that he's a little bigger, a little fuller this year. So I don't know what his condition will look like. He was his all-time best at this last Olympia when I think he placed 10th or 9th, or maybe even lower. Or like better. He looked phenomenal at the Olympia. His condition was off the charts, and he's just got that physique that's like a action figure. The perfect delts, the perfect pecs with the tie-ins and the abs and the arm. Everything is perfect. He just needs a little more size and to nail the condition. Because he's taller than people think. I bet he's close to 5'11". You know, for a bodybuilder, that's pretty tall. He's got to be a big guy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Ronnie is 5'11", right? Ronnie Coleman.
yeah,
Can you imagine?
and he was tall. Yeah.
What does Rafael compete at? Is he over 250 when he competes?
Oh, well, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I bet
I'm
he's
not sure about
249 to 251, something like that.
I will guess so. Yes, around that
Well,
weight.
definitely one of the more aesthetic physiques you're going to see in open.
Very,
bodybuilding.
very beautiful physique. Like Jose said, perfect. Like everything is just looking nice, right? Like every muscle group is nice, right? So like, yeah, there's no like if you go to, I don't know, like heavy bodybuilders where who are hard rock hard, right? Like crazy condition, and then you have like this a little ugly stuff coming through, right? So like it doesn't look nice anymore. But Rafael, man, it's everything is just so beautiful, and I love it.
Right.
All right. Then the wild card, depending on which version we're going to get, right? Justin Rodriguez. Couple years, was it last year or the year before, he came out and prejudging at the Arnold, and it was like, man, this guy can win the show, you know? And I think it was the year when Nick Walker won it. He really came out strong. You know, he did a lot of shows. I think kind of burned himself out there for a little bit. So, you know, we'll see what he brings this year. But, you know, when he's in shape and the waist is in check, I mean, crazy, that front twisting, you know, bicep is kind of his trademark. Back, you know, is really good when everything's tight and hamstrings are tight. So, I mean, you know, it's not ridiculous to say he could place as high as third. You know, I don't know if where he's at with his prep and stuff, if he's going to come in, you know, on time. But, you know, great physique, man. You can't underestimate him.
Yeah, I think it's just a condition game for him.
Right.
Nothing else. Condition. Nail it.
And keeping the waist, you know, keeping the waist tight, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, he didn't place well in the last, couple of shows.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, he burned out probably.
Yeah.
But so. It's condition game for him, 100%.
All right. Samson, I think everybody, you know, the buzz around is, I mean, obviously Hadi's, you know, based on the Olympia, is probably the favorite on paper. But, I mean, everybody thinks Samson, this is his show. And, of course, he won it last year. Hadi's obviously coming in, you know, this year, which is, it's going to be a battle, two totally different physiques. Are we going to get a different Samson than the Olympia? Do you think he will be harder? You think so?
I think finally is bringing that condition what I was looking forward to see.
Right.
You know, and I'm always criticizing a couple athletes because I had it with Milos too on the podcast with Jay Katlakos, right? So it's only the condition. Everything else is just growing. So he's improving every time I see him posting some updates. So, but this year, I think he's finally nailing this. You know, like the chest was never striated like this. Glutes also back. Hey, man, I'm happy to see that. And I think he could be the next big thing. And man, it's gonna be tough for Hadi.
Jose, has he improved enough? I mean, have you seen? I mean, you don't really have much of an off season, but I don't know that with his size that he needed one, right? He just needed to keep getting harder.
Yeah, that's it.
So
I think this
is huge, man.
This was perfect. Like, don't even stop dieting after the Olympia. Just keep going for the Arnold, and he has all the size he needed. And I don't think his condition was lights out at the Olympia, and that's why he was probably able to continue this. It didn't hurt him at all. And these pictures that I'm seeing, like Dennis mentioned, you can see detail that I've never seen on him. Even the quad striations, the pec striations, the glutes, the separation, the glutes and the hamstring from the side. Even his abs are deeper than I've ever seen. What is special about this guy is even though he's harder, he looks bigger. He looks bigger than he's ever looked now. Like, this is the look we've all been waiting for. And if he looks like this and what we all think he can, in the way things have been trending with Hadi, you know, because I personally didn't have Hadi losing the Olympia. That was my own opinion. I think if he comes in here and he's not significantly better than he was at the Olympia, then Samson's going to beat him. And I just think, like that question you asked earlier, who would win at our best, me or Dennis? Dennis would win because he's a good, bigger guy. They always say that the good, bigger guy is always going to beat the good, smaller guy. And I think if he's what I think he can be, then he deserves to win.
All right. You might have forgot about this guy. I actually forgot I had him in there. So I'm going to tell you right now,
Marcelo.
He's freaky, man. I mean, he's crazy. I remember he tried to originally go into the classic, was obviously couldn't make the weight at the weigh-in. And I mean, this is where he belongs. I mean, he's a freak. I would say, that front double by, I wouldn't say his waist is out of control, but that's the one maybe where he loses some points. I think his waist's a little thicker, which kind of, detracts from his flow. But his legs are crazy. Now his back, I haven't seen enough of his back to know if it's up there to like, a hottie's back. But from the front, and just cartoonish, and the legs from the side are just nuts. I think he's going to surprise some people. I think if you don't know who this guy is by now, you're going to know. I believe, did he just do the one, or did he do two pro shows last year? I remember his debut. It was pretty good. I think he was top 5. But like I say, I think if he can keep the waist down, and keep the fullness up top, I really like this guy, man. I think he's, he's going to be crazy. I think he's going to be a top 5 guy.
He is still developing, right? So he's still not there yet, and you can see it. I mean, crazy. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's like grainy, everything, right? So, but he's young, so he's still growing, developing his physique, and but he's very close. I mean, he's improving so good that you actually surprised to see him placing that high, because he's already standing next to top guys who are older, who have different maturity, muscle maturity and development, right? So, and he's up there already, so he is like fighting with them, so, and I think he could be a big surprise, the biggest surprise maybe at this Arnold's.
Jose, is he, is Horse, do we even announce who this guy is? Horse MD Marcel, does he have enough mature muscle, and is he, can he challenge for these top guys, Jose? Is he ready for that level?
Yeah, because he has great proportions. He's got, you mentioned earlier that he tried to do classic. I heard he showed up at the show like 20 kilos off. Oh, no, 10 kilos off. He was like
22
not
pounds.
even close.
Right.
But he's grown a ton, and he's got really good shape, really good proportions. When you see him, his pitches, front double, side chest, everything flows really well. It looks like great condition. If he nails it and he's grown, yes, he can beat a lot of guys. I don't know where he's going to end up, but he could end up in the top 5. Why not? If he's at his all-time best, at a show like this, it's very rare that more than 6 guys show up at their best.
Yeah.
So he could be one of them.
I think so. All right. And then here's the man, I think, between him and Samson. I think we can all agree it's probably going to be, Samson, Hottie in the top 2.
I think you agree on that too, right?
I mean, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I'm going to disagree with you guys. I think, after the Olympia, Hottie probably looked at that, and, I'm with you, Jose. I really love Derek's physique, but I still had Hottie winning it. I still think he did enough to win, and I think if he can bring the back to where it was with the hardness, I just think his back development is still going to be more than what Samson's is, and with that size. So he's going to be my pick still to win the show. But you guys may see it differently, but I'm sure he was motivated, man, after that Olympia win or the loss, because it was so close. So I don't think he's going to I think he's going to take it.
I don't even know what to say, or who to pick, because Hadi is one of my favorites because of the condition, very hard, dry muscle, and he always nails it. It's just like last Olympia was not 100%, I will say, Yeah, I mean, if he is coming like we know him to the show, striated, dry, and hard, even for Samson, it's going to be hard to take it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's do this. Let's go right into it. Instead of your top 5 in order, I tell you what, Jose, start us off. Give us your first call out. Who do you think we're going to see in that first call out? I mean, obviously they got to be in shape, but yeah. And there's, like I say, there's a lot of those guys that are wild cards, and it could be 4 guys, it could be 6 guys. But and I don't know if you have them in front of you there, but who do you think is going to be right there in the first call out?
Obviously, Hadi, Samson, Akeem, Horse, and John De La Rosa. It's 5. I can add 6 and put in James.
Okay.
I'll go with Hadi, Samson, Raphael, Brandao. Ooh, and then it gets tighter, right? So, and then I will say James, and Horse MD.
Yeah. I mean, they may call out 6. I mean, what do we have? I think there's only 3 guys I didn't mention.
4.
Is there? We have 10
4
competitors,
or 5 or 6.
There's 10 or 11. There's only like 3 guys.
The
that
judges
really
decided.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I mean, obviously, it's going to be Hadi and Samson. I like Raphael in there, and I'm going to put Antoine in there. I think Antoine's going to be in there, and Horse MD. That's my 5.
It's tough, right?
Horse MD, but
I mean, it could be anyone.
You do, yeah.
But
it's just
after the first call out, they could start sorting them out.
Yeah,
that's also possible.
Yeah,
right? So
well, we'll see. And then your winner. I mean, I said I'm going to go with Hadi. You guys both like Samson.
What do you say, Jose?
No, I like Hadi, but I think Samson's going to win. How's that?
I'll agree with you. I mean, he's got a lot of momentum. I mean, that's got to play a part of it, right? The hype and the improvements that he's going to make improvements. You want to reward that, right? So you could be right.
It does. I could tell when I was at the Arnold 2 years ago. It was close with Nick Walker and Samson and even Andrew. I would have had no problem if either one of those 3 won. But the energy in the room, you could just feel it. You could just feel that vibe that it was going to Samson, and sure enough, it did. And I feel that energy throughout this entire industry for the last 2 years now. And I think if it's close, it's going to go to Samson. He's the bigger guy. They're the 2 most muscular guys in the show. Yeah, so, right. And probably the 2 most muscular with condition. So, sure. But he has a taller, prettier look. He could win. I think he's gonna.
Yeah. Good call. All right. Before I got you guys on here, I was going to ask you now, Dennis, start us off. Your best Arnold Classic story. What do you have for us? Could be backstage, could be on stage. Anything that you can remember from your years. Maybe it wasn't even a year you were competing, but you got to give us something. What's your best story from Arnold?
There's a actor. He played Wolf in some show. I don't remember. Margiano, whatever. So he was with Arnold and Ralph Muller at the expo. No, not the expo. At the meet and greet. Right? Meet and greet before the Arnold. And, you were selling your merchandise and all that. He played that guy, like bad guy in Arnold's movie when he was a cop.
Terminator 2?
No. He went into the office and told everyone you should shut the fuck up and, lose like 50 lips of fat, right? You remember?
Okay. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
You remember that movie? He had like
The Wolf?
No. The Wolf. The guy was playing the Wolf somewhere else. And he saw my merchandise. That was Big Bad Wolf, and he came to me and was like, "I'm the Big Bad Wolf, right?" So, and I didn't know who it is. And my wife was talking to him. I was taking picture with the other fans, and then he ended up buying my hoodie, right? So he was with Arnold there, right? So
Right.
I mean, I kind of knew he was someone, back then I didn't understand who he was, but Arnold brings always his friends,
Right.
and if he promotes the movie, so back then he was promoting the movie, so he always brings the guys with him. Like you remember Jason Statham
Yeah.
one year. So and he ended up buying my hoodie, right? So and then
Nice.
after that, like it's just like I was asking my wife, why are we not giving that for free, right? Because he's gonna wear it. Anyways, he paid the full price, and the next day I see the pictures from the Arnold Classic at the expo, and he's wearing that, running around with Arnold, wearing my Big Bad Wolf shirt.
That's cool,
So
man.
that's pretty cool.
Hey, yeah.
I need to look up what his name is.
Okay.
Something with Italian. Whatever.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you guys can comment on the YouTube. I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody out there
I
knows
bet
knows what they're talking about. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's a cool day. Anytime you can get something with Arnold, walking around next to a guy with your sweatshirt, that's going to get you a little bit of
he was.
publicity.
Arnold is doing his round, right? Like
Yeah.
visiting all the sponsors.
Mhm.
So and he was with him. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That's
man.
nice. Yeah, hey,
it was
you
good.
stop and I got to get this guy.
Yeah,
Get this
yeah.
guy's
So,
sweatshirt. That's cool, man. Awesome. All right, Jose, what do you have for us?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
So we were all lined up behind the curtain about to go out on stage, the 212 guys, and Arnold came up the stairs and was walking by us, and he's looking at us like he couldn't even get over it that we were so short and thick, So he had like this weird look on his face, and then Zane
So like, hey,
Watson,
Danny DeVito's here. Too many
yeah,
Danny DeVito's.
yeah, he thought we were like a circus act or something, and. And Zane Watson goes to shake his hand. He's like, "Hey, Arnold," like this, and he's like, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!"
I had the same story. Yes.
Yeah,
Don't touch
he,
me.
yeah, he didn't want anyone touching him because of the tan and the oil and stuff.
Right.
And he had a suit on, so it was funny to watch him looking at us almost in disgust, like, "What is this? What's going on here?" Because keep in mind he was Franco's training partner and close friends, but Franco would look like a classic physique guy next to the 212 guys today. He was only 180 pounds,
Right.
and he's my height. So that was one story. Another story, me and Guy Sistanino are backstage, and one of the expediters that was working there, I think he's since gotten fired. He was like, "All right, guys, you got like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then I will call you out." 5 minutes later, he's like, "Come on, line up, line up." And we're like, "What?" None of us had our oil on, nothing. And he literally like grabbed me and started pulling me, dragging me towards the stage. And I lost my marbles. I was like, "Dude, don't touch me." And I pushed him off me. And then me and Guy would just yelling at the guy, like, "What is going on? You tell us 25 minutes and tell us 5 minutes later we got to go on stage." And
So y'all weren't even ready. Y'all weren't even ready to get out there.
yeah, it was a nightmare. There was almost a melee. And if you know Guy was fired up, I was fired up, and we had to like calm each other down and walk out on stage for our routines. It was nuts. I can't
So,
really explain it to make it sound how bad it was, but it was really bad.
is that guy still expediting today? Is it
No.
like somebody you see regularly out there?
No, I think it was the year I won in 2015, and then I did it 3 more times and never saw him again. So I don't think he was very good at his job.
The year you won the Arnold, you had no oil on, right?
Right.
In the finals, and you still took the show. So that's saying something right there.
Yeah.
So nice. All right. Well, great. Like I said, you're not going to the Arnold. We will be there. So I'm looking forward. I'm getting excited. Maybe you can.
I'm gonna have a watch party at my house.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do the same thing. I think we're gonna commentate there at the expo on the Classic, and I think we're probably just gonna watch the finals, at the house. We are gonna give away some tickets, which is gonna be really cool. But I think we're gonna be, after the expo, we're probably gonna be worn out. So
yeah, that's a long day.
So. We will be dead. Yeah. So we're gonna enjoy. a watch party in the house, and then yeah, we'll see.
Do it again all the next day, right?
Yep.
So awesome.
Do you know what number booth you guys are at yet?
Yes, 212 or 220.
I think 220.
220, right across from Gasp. So I mean, we intentionally got there. We're doing the collaboration giveaway with them, and so
Awesome.
really looking forward to that. So yeah. Darwin Uribe, we signed him. He's going to be he's our first Nutrition Wolf athlete. He's with Gasp as well. He's going to be moving up into the 212 division this year. He's looking crazy huge. So you know, he's he reminds me of you. You know, he's about your height and he's carrying a lot of mass, man. So he's really going to have a good transition from 212.
I just met him that week in Dallas a couple weeks ago. He's a nice guy.
That was my first fight too. Yeah. I just met him. I didn't know who it was.
He was looking wide, man.
Yes, I know.
He's impressive.
Yeah.
And I can't believe he was a
the switch, right? From classic to 12.
Yeah. So I mean, I think his weight cap was like 185-ish or something, and now he's gonna be he's 245 right now. So I mean, he'll you know come down
in good shape.
245. Yeah.
So. He's I mean, I saw the chest is striated, like top of the chest.
I'm excited.
Like,
he's gonna start his debut this year. Will be at the Texas or Chicago. And then he'll do Texas. So we're really hoping he can.
I might be there with my athlete, Dennis Reinhold. We're going to do 2 U.S. shows. It might be Chicago, Texas, or Vancouver, but I'm not sure about Vancouver.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Well, good deal. I know when I saw you, I met you in Texas, Jose, you said you had that little gym up there in Boston. I'm going to take you up on that, man. I want to come check that place out.
Anytime. Hit me up. It's called Gym Hub. It's right in downtown Boston.
Yeah.
Gym Hub. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Kind of like Pornhub, but Gym Hub.
See, I'm going to remember now just because you said that.
So now,
Now, you're not
in your brain.
Are you still doing your podcast, or you're not doing that anymore right now?
We haven't in a few weeks, in a few months. But we'll get back to doing it. We just took a little break. It's been a lot going on here with work and everything. And there's a million. I'm on podcasts every
all
week,
the time.
so
right. So
I don't even need to do my own.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to do ours, and so thank you for being on, giving us your insights on these guys, and you know, we'll have you back on afterwards, and you can tell us all.
Definitely,
you know,
yeah.
You told us so.
I'd love to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was a blast as always, and looking forward to see you soon. Maybe another meet up in Dallas.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.